Hey everyone, we got a trade between the Canucks and Leafs. We're going to talk about it. If you're a new subscriber, welcome. If not yet, I hope you give the channel a chance. Definitely get your comments down below, and I hope you hit that like button. Dakota Joshua going from the Canucks to the Leafs. Joshua was actually a 2014 fifth-round pick by the Toronto Maple Leafs, so during the Shanahan plan. But yeah, he goes to the Blues at the time and then ends up at the Canucks. The Canucks signed him to a bigger contract. So for the Canucks, this is a cap-saving move. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, the one thing I don't like about this is Trey Living is slowly erasing his leverage with cap space. Kind of that conversation I was having before. That's the one thing I don't like about it, but the players he's adding is the guys that the Leafs have been missing in the bottom six come playoff time. You talk about Nick Waugh, 6'3", 6'4", playoff performer. Dakota Joshua, 6'3", playoff performer. Last year in the playoffs, he had 8 points in, I believe, 13 games, 4 goals. Sounds like more goals than some guys in the playoffs, eh, guys? And you'll see it right here. There you go. 8 points in 13 playoff games last year. So not this past season's, the playoffs before. So the 2024 playoffs when the Canucks were there. And just going through the timeline, it is a 4th-round pick the Canucks are getting. The feedback, my guy Zeta saying, I love this. I wanted Joshua last offseason before he extended to Vancouver. He was, yes, the 128th overall pick, as I said. Kind of my initial reaction, like I said, I didn't like the losing the leverage part. I'm really hoping there's the next move, trading Yarncrow, trading Kampf, getting some leverage back on some cap space, because this goes away really quickly. It really does. And I know there's some rumors right now that like Chinnikov is maybe going to get traded by Columbus. Like that would be a guy that I'm interested for Toronto. Dakota Joshua last year did not do so hot. To look at his numbers, 7 goals, 7 assists for only 14 points in 57 games. Brad Trey Living's really betting on a bounce back here, because if you're only putting up on pace for 12, 13 goals and you're making over $3 million a year, that's not great. And that's kind of what's happening here with Dakota Joshua. Like, he's in that fringe area of, are you a third liner or are you a fourth liner? So they've already added him to the Leafs cap picture. And right now, with that in mind, the Leafs have either a 23 or 24 man roster. 24 is obviously over the limit, so that's not going to make sense. And then $2 million of cap space. So with this, I'm just going to assume that Henry Thrun is in the minors. So let's just assume that for a second. And then the Leafs have $3 million of cap space in around there. All right. So with that in mind, the bottom 6 is so much better. Like, no one can deny that, right? David Kampf and Cal Yarncrow can be healthy scratches, keep them out of there. Dakota Joshua, Lawton, and Lorentz is an expensive 4th line, but it is heavy. It is definitely heavy. You could also do some other creative things. You could go Nick Waugh with Joshua and Lorentz on that 4th line. That's a big 4th line. That's 6'3" right here, 6'4" right here, and Stevie Lorentz 6'3", 6'4" as well. So that's a heavy, heavy line. Lawton may be there. So you have options for sure. You're probably looking for one more forward still. Like, at the end of the day, this is not the top 6 forward ad. It really isn't. I like what Trey Living's doing in terms of the change. And again, it could be a bigger move where maybe Yarncrow or Kampf or maybe both are part of that big trade for that big top 6 forward. The Leafs are not done with this. I just don't love that the leverage is decreasing a little bit. I think it's another sign that maybe the defense stays the same unless Carlo does get moved in this bigger deal for the top 6 forward. But that's where my mindset is. Like, you added Michelli, you added Waugh, you added Joshua. You're really getting a different look for this team. And I just mentioned Joshua and Waugh have sneaky good playoff numbers. Joshua has a much smaller sample size. He only has 14 career playoff games in the NHL, but 8 to show for it. I'll take that. I will take that. So, and then even in the AHL playoffs. Again, it's the AHL playoffs. I understand that. He's a bit of a late bloomer anyways. But the physicality of Dakota Joshua, the cap hit's not great, but it is only for 2 more seasons after this upcoming. So to me, 3.25, if you can remove Kampf and Yarncrow from the picture, I would be very much okay with Joshua at 3.2 than Kampf at 2.4. Joshua, you're just getting more of that bite. way more of that bite. And if he can score 10 plus goals every year, you're okay with that. It's got to be bare minimum. You're probably looking at that 15 goal mark where Nick Waugh was last year, and then you're okay with paying those guys $3 million each. So give me your thoughts, guys. I think that's kind of where my head's at. It's an okay move. It's a good fit move, but the cap hit, the cap space leverage, and that big top 4 or top 6 forward ad. That's the conversation. You don't need to really go too much more on the Canucks side of things. It's a cap dump for them. It really is. It's to open up some space. To me, for a 4th, it's cheap. It's not like I'm not going crazy. It's not an unbelievable steal because of the cap hit. It's all context. It really is all context. If Dakota Joshua was making under $2 million, he's not getting traded for a 4th round pick, folks. This is a cap space world. It is a salary cap world. The NHL has a hard cap, unlike other leagues. These are the kind of moves that happen when the league is structured like this. And this context too on this line, he really struggled this past season, but it was coming off an off season where he was diagnosed with cancer and had surgery to fix it. 6'3", 18 goals the previous year. You're betting on a bounce back. You really are. So if he can score the 10 to 15 goal mark minimum, you are happy with it. Trade Yarncrow, trade Kampf. So I was going to look at any more feedback. That's kind of where we're at. But it is, I think I've seen Canucks fans already happy with this in terms of creating the cap space. So we'll see what the Canucks do next. Canucks fans, give your feedback on what we're going to get from Dakota Joshua in terms of the Leaf side of things. And then Leaf fans, what do you think is the next move for Toronto? And Canucks fans, what could you do with the cap space? Subscribe, like, comment, notification bell. We'll see you in the next video, and I'll do some next moves for the Leafs as well. Maybe like in terms of full. If I just do one for fun, I feel like people are going to ask me. With the cap space, I don't know. I've kind of talked about it. Like, if you do go to a team like a Columbus, it could be a Chinnikov. If you go to a team like Calgary, and it's Nazem Kadri, if you do go back to that conversation, because Viveiros keeps talking about it, yeah, I mean, it's a good storyline. I would love Kadri back in Toronto. You could probably convince Kampf to go there, to be honest. I still think it takes Cowan, to be honest. Like, if you guys don't want to get rid of Cowan, I get that. I know some people have said, John, stop with it. Then it's probably a future first-round pick, and it's probably Danford. It's some kind of package like that. You're not going to get it cheap. But I do think you could probably get Kadri at retention, though, if that was the case. So maybe it's Danford, and maybe it's future couple seconds, I guess. I don't know. Kadri retained, maybe like $3 million off. I'm pretty sure that's cap compliant. I think we've done that before, yeah. It's definitely cap compliant. And then it would be something like this. I mean, I'm taking that over last year's roster, to be honest. Just based on the playoff structure, you have your 3 stars in Matthews, Nylander, Nyes. Tavares and Kadri battle it out for that 4 spot and 5 spot, and then you have a bunch of 15 goal scorers. Like, that's what you want on a cup contending team. You want like 3, 4, 5 different guys that can score 15 goals on a season and can score 3 or 4 goals in a playoff run. And I just listed it. Dakota Joshua has proven he can do that. Nick Waugh has proven he can do that. Max Domi has proven he can do that. So you want more of those type of guys. So I kind of gave you that. It's the Kadri example again, I know, but I'll make another video going over other examples. Thanks, guys. Talk soon. Peace.